Good afternoon and welcome to my channel. Welcome to Simply Danielle. So I'm coming on here today just to give a brief word, a word in my spirit that I feel like I need to share with you guys about knowing when to release, knowing when to let go and let God. So often, we tend to hold on to people, places, and things that we have, fortunately, have outgrown. I know that sounds a little harsh, but if we haven't outgrown those people, places, and things, that says a lot about where we are mentally, emotionally, and even physically. But in order to move forward or have God usher us into our next, we have to let go of our former. It's really hard for even a plant to grow to its potential if it's in a shallow planter. I have one right here that I can't really show you right now, but it's one that my son had brought home from school that they made at school. Small little container, and it's about this big. And I mean, sure, you can plant in it, you can put the seed in there, let it water and grow, and it will grow, but it won't grow to its full potential and its full capacity in such a shallow container. There needs to be depth. So there's going to be an unearthing that needs to take place, and a replanting and rerooting that needs to be done in order for this plant, this flower, whatever it is that has roots, it needs to be uprooted and rerooted or replanted in a deeper and bigger or broader planter or plant, like a pot, a flower's pot, whether it be a raised garden bed, it doesn't matter. In order for you to see what this plant, this tree, this whatever it is, to see what it can do, it has to be uprooted, it has to be replanted into something that's bigger, a bigger vessel. And in this particular vessel, it is us. So we as people need to grow in order for God to use us to our full capacity. He can only do so much in us and through us when there's limited, space. I wouldn't say space per se, but you know what I mean? There's got to be something that he can use. There's got to be some depth to us. So we need to go to those dark places, go into isolation, just like a butterfly, before it becomes a butterfly anyways, it's a caterpillar. It's got to go into the cocoon and have a metamorphosis in order for there to be some type of transformation. That's where the growth takes place. It becomes from one thing to another. And in that time span, from a caterpillar to a butterfly, in this space right here, in this time frame right here, there's growth taking place. There's darkness that's happening. It's just the caterpillar and God, or the butterfly and God, in that time span, however long it takes. But it has to be uninterrupted. Can you imagine if someone sees a caterpillar in its cocoon, going through its crystallization and the metamorphosis, and someone goes and disrupts that? It will not turn into what it's supposed to, what it's destined to be, because it was interrupted. Same thing can be said about a plant. When it's been planted, it has to stay planted, it has to be watered. That's where photosynthesis comes into play, right? The watering, the sun, the this, the that. Everything takes a part. We got to do our part to nurture it and take care of it. God will do the rest. But even too much water can drown the plant. Too much of one thing is not good, right? That's where balance comes into play. And so if you want to see growth in your life, you have to go into a dark place, just where it's just you and God. That's isolation. That might be the wilderness for a season. How long is a season? It depends. How long does it take to be obedient? How long does it take you to get into that season? How long does it take to get into that position? These are questions that we have to ask ourselves. How much do you want to grow? How desperate for change are you? These are questions that we must ask ourselves. How deep is your love? How deep is your obedience? Even delayed obedience is still considered disobedience. So however long it takes you to get into the position, to get into the season of isolation, into the season where you're in the wilderness, where it's just you relying on God and God alone, that might mean you're not answering phone calls. That might mean you're skipping parties. That might mean you're giving up some things. A lot of fasting and praying. And of course you got to push. You got to continue to push. Pray until you see something happen. This microwave generation expects this. And God could do it that quickly if he really wanted to. But sometimes he wants to take his time with us, because when he does, I find that it tends to stick. It's no different than someone giving away a free course. People don't really listen. They don't do the work because it's free. So they don't have a perceived value. But when you pay for something, there's a cost. And because there's a cost, there's a perceived value. Where am I going with this? In this new season of our lives, it's going to take some time away from everything, from the things that we like, the things that we love, the things that are pulling us back, the things that no longer serve us, the things that don't allow us to become who we're destined to be, our full potential. Anything that's hindering. Because we have an appointment, right? And there's a divine appointment. And in order to get to our divine appointment, we have to sometimes miss other things so that we can get to where we're going on time. And even if there's some detours along the way, because sometimes there are some detours, God is still very much so in control. And he said he orders the steps of a righteous man. Or the righteous man, his steps are ordered by the Lord. And we know that. So as long as you're in the will of God, he'll still get to where you need to go. Even if you're just a few minutes late. At least with God, you're always on time. With him, you will be right on time. And that also means knowing when, like I said earlier, knowing when to let go. It's like an elevator. Every single elevator, if you look carefully, usually on the left or right side of the elevator, it'll say that there's a maximum capacity. It'll show in either kilograms or in people. So no more than 15 or persons or exceeding this much weight. And oftentimes, you want to make one trip. So we try to squeeze everybody on, but there's a maximum capacity. It's not that you want to be inconsiderate or close the door on anybody, but what should happen if there's too many people on the elevator? It'll drop. And that can be detrimental to everybody on the plane, on the elevator. And much like when you're going up, not going down, in life. And when God wants to elevate you, he will cause there to be a separation. So it's not all the time you can bring someone or persons with you to the next level. Maybe they can only go level 5, maybe level 6, level 7, level 8, but that's it. You know, people are in our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And sometimes level 5 is where they get off. And if you try to bring them to the other levels, and you know, you might miss your time. And you got to know when to just leave them to God. You know, sometimes you want to bring people with you, but they're not even ready. So then what are you going to do? You're going to forfeit your destiny, your promise for unsurety? It would behoove you to be obedient and listen and adhere and hearken your ears unto the Lord. And those who have an ear, let them hear what thus saith the Lord. I don't know. I hope that this will cause someone to really reconsider them always wanting to put people on to whatever it is that they got going on or whatever it is that they want to do. God is calling you to the season to listen, to really listen and look into yourself. Is this what you want for your life? Do you want more, or do you want to stay where you're at? Because it's going to require separation if you want there to be elevation. There's a humbling season. They might even have to go, like I said, into a season of isolation first. See who checks in on you during that time span. Maybe nobody. And you got to be okay with that too. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be just you and God. And you're going to have to answer to him for everything. We all do. So just be mindful and know that you got to know when to let go. You got to know when to hold him, when to fold him, when to walk away. And I hope that this is encouraging for you, and whoever this is for. I hope that it does something for you. It resonated with you. Of course, always take whatever I say back to God in prayer, and I hope that it blesses you. And please do like, comment, and subscribe, and put your notification bell on so you know when I upload another video. And I hope that this is a blessing for you. And this is one of many videos, my first one of many to come. And hopefully it was a blessing to you guys. Hopefully I'm talking loud enough. I'm not a very loud person. I do need to get a mic, so I will be doing that. And God bless you. And we'll talk to you soon. Signing out. And again, like, comment, subscribe. This is Simply Danielle. Peace and blessings.